Man, oh man, this is gonna be a busy week. So President Joe Biden just signed two executive orders, both dealing with the federal food assistance and the delivery, the streamlining the stimulus checks, and also not to mention the increasing of the federal minimum wage to $15 for federal workers and also contractors included. You don't want to miss one bit of this, so stay tuned. Hey, what is up, you guys? Jerome here with Freedom Nation. If you haven't joined the Freedom family already, go ahead and subscribe by clicking the subscribe button down below and also hitting the thumbs up button. It helps this video to boost up in the algorithm. And also on this channel, we don't just talk about stimulus checks all day. We do talk about other ways that you can also create income for yourself, both online and offline. So if that is interesting to you, you want to go ahead and subscribe for sure, because we're going to have videos that's going to be showing you multiple ways to do so. All right. So with that being said, let's hop into the video. We have to act now. We cannot and will not let people go hungry. Now, these are the exact words from President Joe Biden. If you guys didn't hear that actual speech that he gave, please check the link in the description down below. It's going to be linked to the article in which I'm getting most of the information from, so you guys can follow along. So we know that two executive orders were signed on Friday, and Joe Biden's goal is to help at least cover the gap in the meantime, while that $1.9 trillion plan relief that he has that's being proposed to Congress this week, which is why I say this week's going to be a huge week coming up. That's really going to decide a lot of factors. So with that being said, having that up in the air, he wanted to sign some executive orders to get things moving, almost kind of like patchworking to keep the economy kind of stabilized in the meantime, which is raising the minimum wage for federal and contractors to $15 to protect them. And then also the relief programs that people are depending on these government benefits for food assistance, that's also being streamlined, as well as the stimulus checks that people have yet to receive. So these are the things that's on the block. So some Republicans are still not on board with the $1.9 trillion relief plan. So that is some of the pushback that they're experiencing right now. And so what they're saying is that $900 billion that would pass back in December should be suffice, and they don't see the need for another larger bill to be passed. And again, here's what this article says. It says some Republicans have questioned whether there is a need for a second larger relief bill after Congress passed the $900 billion bill in December. But his remarks on Friday says that Biden says that this was just a down payment, right? This is nowhere near what the American people need. And so what his defense was that last year when the $1,200 checks were sent out, people, used it for groceries, like I said, and basic needs. And so this time, for the second check that was sent out in December, for those who received it, it was half of that amount. And so that's why he considers it to be a down payment. And his initial goal, prior to Trump leaving office, was having a $2,000 check to be sent out to everyone, so that way they have a larger amount, a larger sum to be more useful, right? Instead of the $600 that were sent out to everybody. In order to increase urgency, Biden wants to treat this as a national emergency. And so what he says is, we need more action, we need to move fast. And he says we're in a national emergency and we need to act like we're in a national emergency. So we've got to move with everything we've got, and that's directly from him. And so what Biden's order is asking is that the USDA to consider issuing new guidance that would allow states to increase the SNAP emergency allotments for those who need it most, according to the fact sheet provided by the White House, which would mean that an additional 12 million people will get enhanced benefits. So essentially, for those who are in the program currently, 40% of them are already maxed out at the maximum allotment. And so what Biden is asking is that the USDA reconsider those guidelines, so that way they can give emergency allotments, meaning extra cash or extra benefits, to those people who may need it most during this pandemic and while we're figuring things out. And on the plus side, the students who are also part of the reduced lunch at school, they also are part of the pandemic EBT card program. That would also get increased as well with this executive order, allowing them a 15% boost in benefits, so accurately reflecting the cost of missing meals and making it easier for households to claim benefits. So according to the White House, this could provide a family with 3 children an additional $100 in support per month. And we're all aware of the unemployment that's steadily increasing at an uncomfortable rate. A 2019 analysis by the USDA Economic Research Service found that a $1 billion increase in the SNAP services could increase the country's GDP by $1.5 billion with a B dollars and support nearly 14,000 jobs. And the other executive order Biden made sure to sign was the minimum wage increase for federal employees, including the contractors as well. So don't forget, if you haven't heard that, listen to that speech down below. I linked the article in the description. And what it is that it's not nationwide, which we talked about in one video by Steve Forbes. He mentioned a good point that if we did this nationwide in the current state of the economy, it could do more harm than good. And so with this executive order, his goal is to at least protect the federal employees and their contractors who are supporting the agencies right now while we're in the pandemic and while we figure out the $1.9 trillion pandemic bill, so that way they can figure out how and how soon they can release that so that it can be a nationwide attempt at some point in the near future. If you guys are getting value so far from this video, please don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button. It really does help this video to kind of get out there, and it does support the channel. And if you haven't joined the Freedom Family, now is a good time to do so. I appreciate you guys so far. So it looks like this week Congress is looking to streamline the process to get Biden's proposals approved, so that way they can go ahead and streamline the next batch of stimulus checks, which would be for the amount of $1,400 to top off the $600 payment that started going out in late December. Democrats and former President Donald Trump had also wanted to send out the $2,000 payments in the first round, but it was stopped by the Republicans leading the Senate at the time. But now that the Senate is mostly ran now by the Democrats by a slim majority, there will be a more likely chance that this will be passed, but it's not without its challenges. So here's what you can expect for this week. It says here that the new checks are going to be given highest priorities. Like I mentioned before, that all the other things that were mentioned inside of the pandemic relief were important, but it wasn't as important as them sending out the stimulus checks to people who literally ran out of cash, that can't even put food on the table. So this is why this is going to be given highest priority. And Nancy Pelosi, the speaker, says that the U.S. House is fast-tracking Biden's plan, with House committees expected to vote on it this week. It will be completely ready for the full House to pass the following week, Pelosi says. The hope is that the proposal will pass, but the problem is even some Democrats are not happy with some of the things that are inside of the relief plan. And that's including the measures that are taken to help with the pandemic, and also increasing the federal minimum wage for the entirety of the nation from $7.25 to $15. And that's both Democratic and Republicans who are not feeling that too much. Now here's a side play that's been talked about, and it looks like it's growing in popularity right now. Some members of the party are already talking about potential plan B if there's a struggle to pass the president's entire aid package. They say the $1,400 direct payments and money for vaccine distribution could be pulled out into a separate bill that might win quick approval, maybe with the support of the Republicans as well. Now, if this happens, there's a really strong possibility that you can see these stimulus checks being kicked out as early as next month. Don't believe me? Let's go ahead and take a look. If both the House and the Senate are able to approve the new stimulus checks early next month, which is indeed possible, you could receive yours by late February. But if there are any snags or anything, of course, we know that this is possible, you might have to wait until March or even April, which was our original trajectory of when you would be able to see something, given that there weren't any hiccups. You know, nothing in the government, in my opinion, is able to go smooth sailing. So this is going to be something that we want to keep an eye on this week. And of course, I'll keep you guys up to date with that being said. So that's all the updates I have for you guys so far. If you haven't joined the Freedom Family yet, go ahead and smash that subscribe button down below and the like button, and drop a comment. Do you guys believe that this will lead to a plan B version of the bill, or do you think that they'll pass the original $1.9 trillion bill, that massive bill, by this week? Let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.